as a treat.
Yep. So here we are once again in the glorious beer league. This is a watch party for IIG versus GGG.
Oh, I hate it already.
Yeah, way too many G's and repeated letters.
My brain's not fast enough for that right now.
So yeah, this series was played I think like last Thursday or something like that, a little while ago.
Monday,
Long while ago.
I think. Maybe not. Did I never put this on the calendar? I'm a failure. Oh, no, last 2 Wednesdays ago, because it's from week 6. Yikes.
Oh yeah, jeez. This would have been so week 6 in group, GGG second in group A, IIG still struggling to find some wins in group. Out of group, they've been playing really well. So I guess we can go ahead and get started walking through these drafts.
Is it all left to right on pick order, or is it like center out
It's
on
left to
pro
right.
draft?
Left to right.
For both?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to read other websites. Okay. So then just looking at bands, right? Initial first 3 bands, IIG bands, Ezreal, Tristana, Volibear. Pretty strong against GGG since Ezreal's an all-around good champ. I think Reese is a little off of it right now. But it's still a safe choice and obviously pretty strong. Tristana is, of course, as we've discussed all weekend, is not a marksman and is an assassin, and it's very easy for Tristana, even by herself, to just get leads. So that's an easy comfort pick for Reese. The Volibear then is aimed at Trooper in the jungle. He's been playing a lot of Volibear in the jungle, probably just because Volibear is a pretty, very, very straightforward, right? You can CC them, you do a heckin' ton of damage. You have dive. It's pretty good. And he's played it a few times in Beer League, and he's done pretty well on it, I believe. GGG, they're banning the Yorick right off the bat. Don't want to deal with Crimson Chin and the split push, which is fair. If you don't want to opt to have to play to that, that's a good idea. And also, that's a thing because Aloe is still new as a top laner, so having to deal with the Yorick might not be the most fun experience. Samira ban, I do believe we have seen Diogenes the cat pull that out a few times. It's a pretty strong champ. I don't know if it's, if specifically there's a big reason why they want to avoid it or just to take off comfort. And then the Pantheon is, I actually don't know. I guess Crimson Chin's maybe played it a little, so maybe there's that. I'm not actually sure otherwise who's been playing Pantheon, and why that would show up in the first 3 bands.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there were probably subs involved once again for IIG, so I'm not sure who that would have. Well, I guess I have the game pulled up. No, they actually had their full roster for this, so yeah, I'm not sure who on their team would play it, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure it might just be a Crimson Chin thing, but I am unsure. Yeah, I think Twitch might be just weird. Maybe it's just Twitch in general being fucked up. So, oh well. So then IIG, they go for a jungle and their bot lane picks first. It's actually kind of interesting, I think, because picking the Diana early, like, Diana's a really good champ still. She's not as busted as she was. But it's kind of interesting because Siege P has played a lot of other champions that have not been banned. He plays Jarvan, he plays Kayn, and none of those it looks like he considered. So leaning to Diana means that Jarvan's still pretty team fight oriented, but maybe they just want like a large AP nuke. I'm not sure, but it's kind of interesting to pick that immediately, and it's just so different from some of the normal champs that I feel like he plays. Varus is a pretty good champ right now still, I believe. He's pretty safe. Does a lot of damage, and he's still like pretty adaptable to like whatever build you need, as long as you're actually responsive to like figuring out what you need to build in game. And then you can't go wrong with Leona.
Absolutely. You get the couple synergy with Diana Leona. You've already got really good AoE lockdown and tons of damage. Yeah, it is a little bit different, the Diana. I think it's a good pick for IIG. They really do like these kind of death bally. We're just gonna go in and do huge amounts of damage in big circles to
Yeah,
so
it gives them a very explosive AoE team fight, I feel like, and Varus can help with that lockdown, and of course Leona can.
yep.
And then GGG's first 3 picks, we've got the Ziggs, right? So that can be easily a flex pick to start. People are taking it bot, people are taking it mid. The Xin Zhao, which Zin's still a very good champ. I still haven't picked him up, honestly. I probably should. Very annoying for so far only the Varus, right? Diana doesn't really care if you can't damage him on the inside because you're going to jump on him. And Leona doesn't care because you're going to jump on him. But it's still like a strong pick, and you don't have to pick just to deny like the range damage. And then Thresh pick for support, which is, that just really opens you up to a lot of flexibility to what you actually want to do, because Thresh can engage and can peel and can disengage a little bit. And Thresh is a really good pick into Leona when you can just flay her out of the E dash. So, seems like pretty solid first 3 picks, and it's kind of like it doesn't really, like, since the Ziggs is a flex, you don't exactly know entirely what they're going for. And I kind of like this better right now, especially like IIG didn't ban any top laners in this first phase, so I think actually like at that point GGG is generally they've picked top lane pretty early, and I think actually saving that is technically better, because I think Aloe has had a lot of bad luck with being picked into like really bad matchups.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think the Ziggs Thresh into Varus Leona is just a good lane if both the supports roam. If only one of the supports roam, it feels really bad to be the solo bot laner. So it'll be interesting to see if any of that happens. Ziggs, I think, is safer than Varus because of the satchel.
And like, Ziggs doesn't slow himself down when trying to actually do damage in any capacity like Varus does. But this Ziggs is still technically a flex pick, so like it's not necessarily the bot Ziggs. I mean, it obviously is in retrospect, but at this point of like draft,
Yep.
it isn't necessarily. IIG rounds out, or I guess GGG gets to start the rest of the bans, but so GGG bans out Malzahar and Malphite. I know Kiksa plays a good amount of Malzahar, and it's a pretty solid pick, right? It's pretty safe, and you still have that R that can just lock someone down. That is a choice target that you can reach. And I imagine the Malzahar is probably, like, since their plans were to maybe pick a Zed, right? Then you can't just press R once Zed ults you.
Yep.
Malphite ban is pretty solid because there's already a lot of like dive wombo, so probably just avoiding that extra source is helpful. And then IIG focus on mid lane bans with the Cassiopeia and the Azir, which are both really high DPS mages with pretty good game turning ultis. GGG runs out their actual draft with the Tahm Kench for top, and then they put the Zed mid, which then solidifies the Ziggs as a bot lane Ziggs, which is really nothing new, but you know, you never know in the moment. IIG picks the Zyra up for Kiksa, which has been a pretty common pick for her mid. And then the Renekton top for Crimson Chin, which I think, you know, IIG I think is one of the few teams that does pretty often play to their top lane with their ganks. So Renekton, it's not exactly the same classic thing as like Renekton Nidalee, but Renekton still is able to help Diana, you know, set up for getting that initial Q and getting to get on the target. So I think there's pretty good synergy there.
Yeah, and I mean they do a good amount of damage, and I like the Renekton into Tahm Kench, at least conceptually, like with the W. The empowered W from Renekton being able to break the Tahm Kench shield means these two should be able to knock down Tahm Kench pretty quick. And if you do have like this massive health tank bruiser assassin Renekton as well as Diana, it could be quite a struggle for the rest of IIG or GGG to function.
Yeah, and it has like a mixed damage profile, which is really nice for those divers. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm getting dove. I'll just build like one resistance to try and keep me alive longer." Like you kind of have to do both, or just deal with it and cry or succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, comp wise, like I honestly like overall, like you know, like detached teams and players, like I think they're both pretty good. I think IIG has something that's a little more cohesive, right? You have your divers, you got your people on the fray, like on the edges of the fray, that should be dishing damage while your divers are kind of smacking against the other team. GGG, I feel like is like, you know, like I said, if you take away names and teams, like it's kind of a bunch of like solo queue champs cobbled together. I feel like. But obviously, right, we know GGG and like they're pretty cohesive. Some of these are comfort picks, and I'm sure they know how to use them correctly and like you know through teamwork. So I don't know how the series actually goes. I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of who would I put my bets on winning this match? You go first, and I'll copy your answer or say you're wrong.
I feel like GGG's comp is a little bit more like most of the eggs are in the Zed basket. You know, I feel like Zed just kind of has to get fed. Otherwise, you're kind of just stuck with like Ziggs lobbing bombs. Xin Zhao, of course, does pretty good damage, and Ziggs will do good damage, but it feels like it's really up to Zed to really pick off like Zyra or Varus before a team fight really kicks off, or there's just like, you know, that's 4 carries on the side of IIG basically. Maybe not Renekton, you know, depending on his build. You know, he's not gonna one shot things, but it does feel like you know, IIG has, in my opinion, like the superior like 5v5 team fight, but I think GGG, if they can just play disengage with Thresh, Tahm Kench, and you know even to some extent Xin Zhao, and let Zed and Ziggs kind of just deal a bunch of damage from before a full 5v5 breaks out, then I think they can win it. It just feels more difficult to me than I'm gonna jump in with all of the buttons, and if you're still standing afterwards, I'm gonna hit you some more. I do know the results of this series, so my answers would be a little bit biased.
Well, that's garbage. Probably should have prefaced the whole analysis with that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm just waiting here, like, yeah, okay,
Hmm.
waiting for an answer, and that's like, you cucked me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna, I'll go with the IIG and hope for that. But I'm pretty sure, like, I've been messaging you this, and you haven't read my messages, so that you should close the timeline.
I think I did. I did not.
Yeah.
All right. Um. eh,
Wait, don't you have a macro for this?
Yeah, and I just hadn't gotten to it yet. Okay. Gotta move those guys. And I will swap over so everyone can see. Um, Alright, let's get into game. Nice.
Immediately, we notice on the sums that Zara has exhaust, which is pretty fair. Zara is one of the squishiest champions out there.
Yeah. I think the nice thing about Zyra into something like Zenjiao Zed is she's a pretty effective user of Zanya's. You know, if she can get her plants down and then ult and Zanya's, if Zenjiao's standing on her, he can still get hit. If she Zanya's the death mark, then maybe she lives. So I do, of what I know that Kiksa plays, I think it is a pretty good pick here. But yeah, she is not strong in the that's maybe double armor runes.
Honestly, I think that might, like, right, that's a pretty decent idea, because theoretically, right, the only people you're going to be seeing is Zed and Zenjiao
Yeah,
for a while. So just the double armor, if that can help keep you in the game there, that might be good.
yeah. I'm not sure it's gonna matter
Yeah.
because of just how much damage Zed and Zenjiao can do. That is the one thing that IAG does not really have here is like you know, there is no Thresh or really peely support like that. Leona tends to go in, although definitely with the Zenjiao in the game, it would be good for her to kind of stand back and sit on her carries.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that since you have Renekton and Diana, that they'll do some of the initiation. Maybe Leona can with an ult, and then Leona can save like E and Q as peel.
Yeah. We do see pretty even level 2s here in the bot lane.
Yep. Varus did start Longsword 3 pots, which I think is pretty smart here into like a poke
Good
lane.
hook by Vermilion, but Leona instantly goes on to Ziggs to return the damage.
Cool.
Varus blowing all 3 sums, and the GGG bot lane blowing nothing.
Yep, junglers are starting to approach the top side of the map, so top lane might be looking real hot right now. But there is an early ward from Crimson Shin in that Tribe Rush, so he will see Zenzel walk out through that. Aloe ended up putting his ward in the middle top bush, so he's not going to necessarily know anything.
Yeah, we do get the stun going down onto Scoobs. The Diana Q is still down. She missed it earlier, but now Aloe goes in, and he might have to flash out here. He does still have the E, and they probably don't go for a dive, but with that Q hitting, and Quixa's here on the roam. Quixa going for Zenjiao under tower. Zen lifestealing up off of minions, but double buffs are going to go the way of Siege P on Diana, and that's a great first play from IIG to start off the series.
That's such a nice early roam. It's kind of I think it's kind of interesting that we are right. Zed did walk up to maybe see if the jungler by themselves would go to do that first scuttle. So maybe it is a good idea that they did decide to just be and not actually go to do a scuttle crab.
Yeah. Oh, we've got another. Oh my god. We've got another little roam here, or return trade from Aloe onto Renekton.
Yep, looks like Diana's going after that top scuttle, and Zenzao's opting to finish his top jungle. So Diana might be able to get a double scuttle here. You can see that they pinged her out from that vision.
Yeah, looks like she's just going to the wolves first, but Renekton going for a TP down on the bot lane. The flash E from Leona onto Ziggs.
Ziggs has no mana.
Oh, Ziggs has no mana and very little HP. He still has flash though. He makes it over the wall. Best Brendan NA not quite gonna land the Zenith Blade onto Ziggs, and Ganodermic Smurf, the man previously known as Reese Race, gonna make it out.
Oh
but
no.
Vermilion gonna die for his ADC slash bot laner sins. And yeah, that's a good play. We'll have to see how much Renekton loses off of this. It looks like a full, that's 3 waves worth of minions.
I probably would have just rather backed and then just walked to lane. It would have been faster. Probably, because it takes about 25 seconds to walk to your tower. And otherwise you'd have to walk, like, 2 quadrants of the map and still not get to do anything with whatever you got. I don't know. Feels a little awkward.
Yeah. I like how it randomly decided to, like, reset everything that I had showing.
I'm telling you, there's something wonky with your macro or something. Yeah, the CS is like still fairly even up there, but yeah, missing out, like getting that turret plate, like just the possibility of getting some of that XP would have been nice. But I did like that IIG, like after that play, they did immediately just turn that into a dragon. So it's looking pretty good to start.
Yeah. I think overall that is a good play for IIG. Renekton, he's gonna fall behind now off of this wave, depending on how much Aloe can pick up. But really overall, he gets the kill, so he is ahead in gold right now. And it forces some summoners out of the bot lane of GGG, which gives them an avenue for this level 6 Diana to come down.
Yep. There is a ward in the river, so they're gonna have to be pretty patient about how they want to do this, I think.
Yeah. I almost think this might be a lane gank angle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I would have liked them to push that wave up and then just have Diana come in through the bushes. Because now they know that Diana's on the bot side. Zenza's already on the top side, and the timer's just popped up for about 15 seconds before like Diana's top jungle spawns. So Zenza can technically opt to gank top, which will be a little harder because Crimson Chin did just kind of slice and dice backwards. But we're going to our Krugs.
Yeah, Ala looking for the solo kill onto Crimson Chin. He is going to get the stun. There is the ulti coming out of Crimson Chin. He goes for the E past the dive. And now Crimson Chin won't be able to chase any further. He'll get the empowered Q into minions for some sustain. But with Zen Zhao showing up, I think the play here is over. They might look for a 2v2 dive, but it would be pretty difficult into Renekton Diana, especially a level 6 Diana.
Yeah, I think Crimson Chin during that scuffle, I think he anticipated the Tahm Kench to use E and used an empowered W, but it didn't actually break his shield because he was still on great health. So that could have maybe changed something. He could like empower W to at least get rid of that and then gain Q and maybe come out a little more on top, but yeah, luckily it seems like a fairly bloodless fight otherwise.
Yeah, but now
we're here for round 2.
Aloe going for the dive now under tower. Just gonna get some more poke. Siege P finding the 1v1 against Scoobs. I'm not sure who wins this because Tom Kench is here now. The
It is
shield
no longer.
not gonna matter.
You know, I feel like every time that we watch these things when it's Trooper on Zed mid, and we're like, well, it's the Zed show now, and then nothing fucking happens mid.
Yeah, we gotta wait a little bit for the mid-game roams to start happening. I think Keeks has been overall able to keep him pretty locked into the mid lane. She is just gonna live from the ignite, but Vermilion on the Thresh gonna go for the flash auto. Get Trooper his first assist.
Yeah, she is rushing that Zanya's, it looks like, a little bit, or at least rush the Seekers, which Seekers isn't as good as a rush item anymore ever since they made some changes like several patches ago, because everyone was on Reddit was talking about how it's like the most efficient item when you stack it.
Yep.
So now that feels a little bad. I don't know if, you know, if having the stopwatch instead could change that situation at all. I think it might have just been, you know, a good roam, catching them off guard. But, you know, having to detour like your mythic for the Zanyas as a defensive just is always really awkward.
Yeah, and I mean, especially Zyra, she really needs the AP and the Leandries normally to really start to do anything. So it does feel bad to have to rush the Seekers. She is going to walk over a pink ward and get hooked. She is walking away from Zed, which is good, but there is the Lantern to bring Zed in. Xin Zhao now coming in. Diogenes the cat hitting him with the Varus ulti, and the execute from Varus Q going to kill him. Zed going in, gets the kill onto Keeks for Tom Kench, but the Diana ulti enough to finish them off. Ganodermic Smurf getting flashed on by Leona, but they aren't going to be able to find the kill. He throws the ulti, just gonna do some more damage to Best Brendan NA's Leona, but I think that's gonna be it for the fight. Overall, a 2 for 3 in favor of the Igloos.
The Igloos. And just like the last time, they had like some weird little skirmish here, and then they just get to turn it into a dragon right after. So it's looking really good. I mean, but if you really think about it, the gold's actually even or slightly ahead by a small amount to GGG. And most of that is really just, I don't know, bot lane CS by a wave. That doesn't seem like much because the Renekton is ahead of the Tom Kench, at least in CS, but is down in gold, I guess.
I think a lot of it was the plates from that Herald.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That would probably just be it. Because, yeah, knocking those 3 plates off. Because I was like, plates are equivalent tops, so that doesn't make any sense.
Zyra gonna miss the root, but Trooper not confident he has the damage to one combo her quite yet. Which he hasn't quite finished his mythic. I think as soon as he does, that might be what we're going for. But right now, IIG looking for another teleport. Zyra coming down. Best Brendan and Eggs gonna land the Leona ultimate right down onto Ziggs. Vermilion gonna walk away. Crimson Chin here on the teleport. Just gonna tax his mid laner.
That's what you do. Couldn't even release the satchel.
Yeah. Zed going in onto Diogenes. The hook gonna land onto Leona, but Keeksa's gonna return the kill down onto Zed. Trooper going in 1v3 just about, and not able to find the kill through the exhaust from Zyra. So great play there from the captain of the Igloos to keep her ADC alive and return the kill onto this stupid AD assassin bully.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think with Zenza and Thresh there, like, actually walking up to try and get plates is a little bit risky. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't, even though it's, like, so close to getting that first plate. And I think it would have been really hard. You know, I feel like, yeah, in theory, Renekton should be good in the Tahm Kench, but because Renekton's trades are usually like E, N, W, Q, auto, walk away, or whatever, you know? Like, I feel like that's not really great because it's after that that Tahm Kench could then could just hit his shield and you don't have your WF cooldown fast enough to break that.
Yeah, it's definitely like Renekton wins the quick trades, but anything sustained is just so
Right.
much in the favor of Tahm Kench.
Yeah. Like, I think as Renekton, you just want to actually be forcing, you want to be like forcing him to use his E like on in small shield amounts, and that way you actually whittle him down overall because he can't hold on to that great health to regen.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, Tom Kench rushed a Bramble Vest, which is really smart. Like, so you know, Renekton can't really.
Yeah.
That does not please the crocodile.
What I don't like is Crimson Chin's boot choice this game. I feel like Merc Treads, you know, it's good for Ziggs. It's good for the Tahm Kench damage and the stun, but there's really not that much like CC that you can reduce. I feel like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, I mean, what else would you go then? Do you think just Swifties to get rid of the slows, or do you think just Tabai?
I would probably go Tabai for the Zed, the Zen Zhao.
I don't know. I think I get the idea because like if you're a diver and you have to reach, you know, the choice member of the backline if you can. If you get slowed, you're not getting there, and then you just die. So I think that I like the concept, but I don't. I feel like I might just think Swifties might be better, honestly. Especially like if you, especially okay, if it's 4 lane, I think Swifties would be good. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have GGG and IIG fighting for drag control coming up here in 30 seconds. Reese Race on the Ziggs. TP'd mid to satchel the mid lane tower and just finish it off real quick to get his team first brick.
Yeah, Renekton does not have a TP for this dragon, or you know, skirmish leading into a dragon. So he is walking down, while Tahm Kench is able to get a back in, and is able to walk down. And I mean, he can TP if he ends up wanting to. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, right now, drag control in favor of IIG. This is their sole point, potentially.
Yeah,
But
Varus tried to get a pick by ulting the Ziggs by himself and was able to tag a bit of damage, but Thresh Lantern was able to come in. Oh my god.
Leona going in, pulls Ziggs out from his satchel over the walls. And Zhao and Zed now diving onto the carries of IIG. Ziggs able to go over the wall and now just throwing bombs from above. Leona lands the E down into Zed, roots him. Kiksa gets her like 4th kill of the game. And that is another fight, a dragon going the way of IIG. There's still 3 left on GGG looking to contest with the Ludens proc onto Leona. Huge damage going down, the hook gonna miss from Vermilion. The Flay going to hit though, the exhaust coming out to stop Renekton. Blue team does slay the dragon, but now Siege P is looking at him, not gonna opt to go any further onto the Tahm Kench or the Thresh.
Yeah, I think that's a walkout. Everyone got a little low from the dragon tanking.
Yeah, nothing left to get over the wall into Ziggs. If you go in there, you're just gonna be eating Ziggs poke for as long as it takes for you to finish off the Tahm Kench, who still has W up, so you know you can just walk away eventually. But you know that's
Reese actually bought a Ludens. Amazing.
yeah. I think that's good here.
Right, you just want to kill like Varus or Zyra.
Yeah. And you don't expect Diana to build any MR, really, so she's likely going to just end up taking true damage from all of the magic pain you get.
That's my favorite move, Rift Turret. Oh my god, we're TPing, but it might be too late. Hey, someone pick up.
Yeah. Tom Kench TPs into the pit and then W's right back out. Good play. Like, the objective control from IIG has been really good all game. The fact that the gold lead is as close as it is kind of a shame for them.
Yeah, and I mean, right, we talked about a lot of that is just plate gold, and right, that one turret difference does, you know, it's a little bit of money. So maybe we'll be seeing this Rift Herald be used to try and claim some turrets. Unfortunately, right, both side lanes, like, there aren't any turrets down there either. And I think that's just one thing, right, because there's such a, like, skirmish roam heavy kind of team right now. You know, then you're not actually able to build up those leads that allow you to get, like, a side lane turret.
Yep. Zig's able to walk up mid and wave clear the minion wave, so IIG can't get a second charge on the Rift Herald, while still clearing the wave bot lane against Renekton, which leaves Tom Kench free, but IIG's sending 3 up for him. He does W, but into vision, the Varus ulti does hit. That's going to be the first set of Blight procced, and we'll have to see if we get a WQ. We do shut down going to Varus, which is big, because Varus hasn't had time to sit in a side lane. You know, he's 50 CS down just about on his lane opponent, but that kill keeps him close in gold.
Yeah, if we're looking at the map right now, Xin Zhao is in the bot side jungle of IIG, and Zyra is a little far up without, like, a turret being there, so Xin Zhao was in the Raptors, and that was, like, a very scary, like, spot. Right? He just W, like, ease you from over the Raptor wall, and you could be really sad really fast.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. You know, he just settled for taking the enemy camps, which, that's fair. I mean, it would be pretty disappointing to, like, be like, all right, I'm going in, and then you actually do get, like, rooted, and you're sitting in there in a bunch of plants and dying. So maybe a little restraint to make sure that we aren't just dying.
Did Aloe aggro Baron with his Frostfire Gauntlet there? Is that what happened?
I think so.
Yep.
It was like the field that he created, I think, from autoing the ward.
Yep. Now, IIG grouping up around Dragon, a minute to go already. There's a decent amount of gold on 3 of them, so I like the play and the timing for them, but I do wish they had a little bit more. Ben going for a hook has to get eaten up by Tom Kench. A 4-man Ziggs ulti from Reese Race. You love to see it. The bomb not quite going to land on Crimson Chin. The Locket or the Shirelias from Vermilion going to speed them up. And now Varus is super low. And there is still time for them. There's not really time for them to reset.
Yeah, I think what happened there is they really wanted to have that dive play, right? But they ran out of minions, and so then Renekton ended up just tanking the tower while they were deciding to go for that dive. And I think basically they tried to force that dive just too hard, and they just didn't have, like, the minion support to help.
Yep. Now they do send all of their team up to top tower, you know, accepting that they lose the drag, and I like GGG. They saw it on vision, and now they're moving up just to make sure that Baron isn't happening.
Yeah, I think definitely recognizing, like, especially with that amount of time that was to go, like, just recognizing that you can give that drag is really smart, and figuring out something that you can do in the meantime. Like, that's a huge plus.
Yeah. Very, very minor thing there. They had Leona and Renekton autoing the tower there. While Zyra was channeling a recall, I would have swapped the Leona for the Zyra. Just because she, like, just now completed her mythic on that back. You know, she's not behind Zed. She is ahead of Zed, but I feel like you really need this Zyra to just be so
Gold.
far ahead that Xin Zhao and Tom Kench have no chance in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just they wanted the timing and they didn't. I mean, not everyone thinks of everything, unfortunately. So maybe they just wanted, Leona and Renekton on it because they have auto resets.
Yep.
That would seem like the most likely thing to me. Oh,
Good damage onto Vermilion. He is gonna Shirelia's himself away, but
slowly.
down to 30% off of a combo from Zyra and a Q from Varus. There we saw lethality Varus into a Tom Kench who has a good amount of armor, and it was not much damage.
Yep.
Another fight breaking out here. Xin Zhao doing a lot of damage already to start off the fight. Siege P going low. His ultimate did not quite do enough. Zanya's instantly to stop the Deathmark from even proccing. Xin Zhao flashing forward with the W to hit Siege P, but the Diana shield going to save her for longer than they maybe expected. Diogenes the cat exhausted on the top side of the map. Renekton walking up. Not going to be able to get onto Zed, just going to get hooked up, and I think probably just killed here. Zed walking away. I think that's going to be the end of the play. Ziggs looking to destroy a blue ward. That is a 4-for-1. While Xin Zhao is dead, there's no response available for
there's
IIG
no smite,
here.
so they can take this. I think that fight was looking really good for IIG, but Diogenes the cat on the Varus got split from the team. He was stuck in mid lane while they were all kind of fighting, in the area, like even past the Raptors. So he couldn't actually be there at all to do anything. So I think if he was able to get into that fight in a better angle, closer in a safe, closer at a respectable safe distance, that could have gone differently for them. But they GGG did a good job being able to zone him out. I think Zed or Zenza were sort of threatening him that he couldn't walk up to go around the back by the Raptors and the turret.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to walk around the really long way, and it just there wasn't enough damage going down otherwise.
Yep. Now we did see Renekton was able to scare off the IIG or the GGG team members from doing that Baron, so that is just going to be a 4-for-1 team fight in their favor. The gold still within 500 for this one. So it still really is anybody's game. We see Diana looking for Zed in the mid lane while top laners are just hitting each other. Ziggs once again off in a solo lane. He does not have much vision, so if IIG wants to, they could run down there. There is vision on them a little bit. Ziggs won't walk up to W the tower, but it will go down anyway.
He's streaming above a 6,000 bit rate.
I might be streaming at a 10,000 bit rate.
Because apparently you can't do that, so that might be why. It has to be lower than 6,000 in order to stream on Twitch. That's weird. I did not know that.
After this game, I can reset that setting.
Maybe that's why all of our stuff's been acting up. Oh, anyway.
All right. Now it is 4v5 right now in the bot lane. The Leona ulti going to miss because of the Lantern from Thresh. The hook's going to land onto Siege P. Diana dives in onto Ziggs, but Ziggs has Zanya's. The Varus ulti going to miss. Zed just about to enter this team fight. The Tom Kench goes down, gets shut down by Diana. Another shutdown goes the way of Renekton. Thresh is dead. Ziggs is still doing damage. Leona takes her over the minefield, and it's just enough damage. The Ziggs triple kill under the tower while Zed walks up, picks up a double kill of his own. Ziggs gonna start the Mountain Dragon while Zed clears out the wave under tower. Another big fight for the side of GGG.
That bot turret's cursed.
Yeah, every play
Every time
IIG
we've
takes.
tried. Cursed.
And I think once you miss the Leona ulti and once the Tom Kench W is out, I think you just have to stop that play. The Zig Zanyas was huge in keeping him alive. Yeah, there just wasn't really any way for the carries to follow up that well on IIG to follow Diana that far under tower. And once Leona misses the ulti and the E, there's just not much for them to do other than walk under tower. It probably would have been better if you turn around and face the Zed, you know, 4v1 or something.
Yeah. I mean, Zed was like untouched during all of that too.
Yeah. So, you know, just a couple of mistakes here from IIG. I think the play at the red buff or the Raptors here earlier, where they went onto Xin Zhao but couldn't get their carries in, and then bot lane here once again. They go hard on the Ziggs but couldn't get their carries in to do the damage, and they're getting hit by tower. The main cause of this now 2.5k gold lead for GGG.
I bet it's because you switched to like your OBS.
Yeah, well, I had to restart the settings, and
Yeah.
it calibrated and said I'm capable of 10,000. So
And you're
I
like,
was
cool.
like, sure. It's using 0.8% of my CPU to do this right now, so I don't know why I wouldn't.
Yep.
But apparently that is why.
Yeah, I'd really like to see some Magic Pen coming through. Because it's really like, this Varus is really not ever going to get through anyone tanky. Because he's like gone into the lethality so heavily, right? Or like the lethality build so heavily right now. I don't think you'd have to buy Cyrildas to like start carving through, which I guess could be okay. But I really think then you might just want to go and have your Diana, who's going to be kind of tangoing with the tanks or the skirmishers, and then your Zyra, who should be able to tag them with plants, right? To be able to just slowly shred through them instead. I don't think it should have to be the Varus's job to try and get through them as much.
Yep. And we did see that the Tahm Kench did melt pretty quick from the Zyra plants in that last team fight. It was just the fact that Ziggs and Zed were able to stay alive that really ruined IIG's chances there. And now they're about to get, you know, they have double Mountain Drakes already on Tahm Kench. You know, Thresh is building Thornmail, Xin Zhao, not any resistances yet, really, but even the Zig Zanyas is more effective. And every bit of armor that's more effective does start to hurt the lethality Varus build.
Yeah, I mean, actually, like, the only person that, well, Xin Zhao and Zed are the only people that don't have, like, any armor items.
Yep.
So I feel like there's going to be a lot of tension here because the Baron's up, the Dragon will be up in a minute, right? So it's just depending on, like, how do you get a lead so that you can go for one of the two so that safely instead of going for one of the two and then, you know, the fight breaking out, right? There's not really that much in the way of like side lane management, I feel like. I mean, I guess both of them are about mirroring each other towards the opposite right now, but like I feel like there hasn't been a lot of you know, people going to the side lanes and taking care of them to, you know, farm up a little bit or to get them into a favorable position.
Yep.
But, you know, GGG has a lot of the vision secured on Baron, while IIG has a lot of it on this Dragon. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe there's an amicable trade, but it looks like we're going to be fighting soon.
Yeah. IIG definitely starting to back off as GGG just bullies their way in. Renekton went for a recall and is now TPing back. All of the poke from both teams now pretty much healed back up, thanks to the honey fruit there for Vermilion. Zed on
Ooh.
the flank, coming up behind.
Oh
One Ziggs
no!
Q hits Varus,
They
and
don't
he
have
has to.
vision for this Zed flank, I don't think.
They don't. Now Tom Kench
Here he
going in,
comes.
hits Leona and Diana. Zed one-shots without the ulti, the Varus. And now Kiksa, her ult does go off onto Zed, the exhaust too. She might be able to live, she will. But now it's Kiksa and Renekton, Zyra and Renekton against the world. Renekton gets eaten by the catfish, the superior southern water-based animal. And that's going to be the third dragon fight in a row going the way of GGG. Ziggs satcheling over the wall, looking for the kill, does get the empowered auto to finish off Zyra. You love to see an okay Ziggs play. And now GGG just going to run straight to Baron.
Yeah, I didn't even stay for the to finish and get the gold off of the Zyra plant. One would surely think that someone who likes gold would do that.
Yeah, well, Reese has plenty of it. He's 4K ahead of Varus right now.
Oof.
You know, Flame Horizon and that on top of
I mean,
some tower gold.
We're close to a Flame Horizon top lane, but look at these jungle like CS. Actually, kind of nutty. But I guess we are 36 minutes into a game right now, so. I feel like we don't run into too many games lately that do end up with as many possible elemental drakes before, you know, it's just over. Right? You don't usually end up with a 3-3 and then someone gets the soul. I feel like it's a little more lopsided.
Yeah, I mean, GGG is a team that loves to play to scale, and the Ziggs now has definitely scaled. That's 4 items completed plus an Oblivion Orb, so halfway on to full build with that last item. And, you know, they definitely were struggling early. IIG made a lot of really nice aggressive plays, but then a couple of costly mistakes have made, you know, these team fights progressively more and more difficult. Unfortunately, it's just so hard to get onto the Ziggs with the Shurelias and the Lantern from Thresh and the Zanyas. Ziggs now has his flash back up and is level 16, 3 levels over Varus.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, I don't think there really isn't a lot of, like, good consistent wave clear, I feel like. Right? Diana has to put her body on the line. Zyra's means that she needs her plants to stay alive. And Varus, you know, has, like, 1 Q every so often.
Yeah, Scoobs just starts the fight right then and there, you know. Super fed. His Guardian Angel is still up. Aloe even gonna eat him and spit him out to save it. Meanwhile, Zen in the top lane. Yeah, that was a 4v5 under the towers. This is just gonna be it for GGG. Ziggs does so much damage now with those autos. Yeah, really well played there from GGG. Struggled a little bit early, but once, you know, kept their farm up and were always able to trade kills for objectives, and yeah, just by the end there they were able to just dive in, and there wasn't enough peel to stop Xin Zhao and Zed from doing everything.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop the stream and change my stream settings to be low quality,
So that
so
Twitch
that
can handle it.
Jeff Bezos can save a couple more pennies